Well, as everyone is already well aware by now, we've got a new Borat film that slid into Amazon Prime without anyone really knowing too much about it, apart from the odd clip of Sacha Baron Cohen driving a car around wherever he was, getting filmed by random passers-by. But yeah, so we've got Borat 2, and I need to get the full name of it up here, just so I can actually say it. Borat subsequent movie film. Delivery of prodigious bribe to American regime for make benefit once glorious nation of Kazakhstan. I'm not going to go fully in because you know what you're getting. It's a Sacha Baron Cohen film. But it is... Oh, God. There's so many people in it. But it's starring, notably, his daughter, played by Maria Bakalova. Again, yeah. We've already know that I'm not great at pronouncing names. And essentially, after humiliating Kazakhstan with the events of the first Borat, he is sentenced to, is it Gulag for life? Yeah. And then after 14 years or so, he is released and sent with a mission to go to America and essentially try and win over the American government. But I won't give too much away because, I mean, it's a Borat film. Like you want to go into it, have a laugh, and then go from there. But yeah, what do you think?
I think it's really difficult to talk about this film because you know what you're getting, and to be honest, like the narrative parts that kind of interconnect the story, I mean, they're not good. They're not really that well thought out or considered, but it doesn't matter because all you're really looking for is the public-facing publicity stunts. Yeah. It's the bits that you've seen separate news articles about where they say, look what happened on the shooting of the new Borat film. And it's, you know, when he's he's gate crashing Mike Pence's speech, or he's, you know, got the very infamous scene with Rudy Giuliani, which is like horrific.
Yeah, he did not come out of that looking good at all.
Fucking disgusting, that whole sequence. And it's, yeah, I mean, those are the things that you watch it for. And in a way, it's kind of like, because you sort of know they're coming because they have been leaked to press already.
Yeah.
It doesn't have quite as much impact in that way. But I mean, I was still shocked when I saw them because I hadn't really delved into it too much. But
to be honest, I think you're being cynical. I've got that film in my head now. Slightly overcritical, Alistair, because I think I went into it. I watched it late the other night. Just turned my brain off, and was just like, fuck it, I'm just going to enjoy this, and I did. And you're right in a lot of the narrative structure, shall we say, didn't make a whole lot of fucking sense, but it didn't need to.
It needs something, I suppose, in order to be able to kind of connect those different things. If it was just a show reel, like, I don't know, a Jackass film where it's just like publicity stunt after publicity stunt, yeah, it would seem a little bit, it would be completely unstructured.
Yeah.
So it needs something to tie it together.
I think because obviously everyone knows by now, there's a lot of political elements to it, and sort of Sacha Baron Cohen himself has come out of saying that there's messages behind it and there's things he wanted to get across, which is fine.
It finishes with, it kind of fades and it says vote, doesn't it? Or now vote, I think it says.
Mm-mm. Oh, you throw me off there, you bastard. Well, yeah, and I think for the first one for me, there was no real point to it. It was just funny moment after funny moment, which is fine. Like, either of them can be done and be done well. And to be honest, I kind of enjoyed it more because I almost enjoyed the fact they had a bit of obviously it has an agenda and has a bit of a meaning behind it. And that was fine with me. I didn't mind it at all. I feel like people of a slightly more, especially Americans of a slightly more different political agenda, won't enjoy it, obviously. But for what it is, I had a good time watching it. And I think with a Borat film, as long as you have a good time, that's all that really fucking matters, to be honest.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. My slight issue is I've always been a big fan of political satire, and one of the things that a lot of one of the things that a lot of the creators of political satire have been saying is like, given the current state of affairs in the world, like satire is almost meaningless and pointless because it's like, how can you satirize a character like Donald Trump, for example? It's like, it's so difficult to do that now because like the things that were satirized before are like, they pale in comparison to the actual reality. So it's like, how much impact does it really have?
But isn't that kind of part of it? Is that, can you even call it a satire because it is, to an extent.
Saying it's like more like a documentary?
Well,
or like a
I wouldn't call it a satire, a political satire myself, just because I feel like it's too close to the world that it's addressing. I feel like if it was like more fictionalized and didn't include these real life characters, I'd feel like I could probably call it a political satire. But again, I did not really engage my brain watching it, so we probably had very different viewings of it, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I get that. It is really difficult for me to kind of analyze it as a film in that way. It makes it really tough for me because I'm just trying to think of how I can really rate it as a film when it's like...
Well, that's cool, because in this review, I can be the chilled, laid-back, dumb one, and you can be the critic. So that's fine with me, because I can just sit back and relax for a minute, enjoy my beer.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, Maria Bakalova...
She was like...
the incredibly brave.
Yeah, the guts on that girl.
I think that's her... Well, she's had a very kind of under the radar career to this point. I think she's 24 years old, playing a 15-year-old, which makes things obviously even more dodgy in the actual film.
I'm getting the word nonce.
Yes.
Yeah. But, no, she's fucking great just because of the for everything Sacha Baron Cohen does, she does and then some. Like,
she's a lot braver than he is in this film.
She is committed.
Yeah. And so I don't know where this takes her career from here because, you know, like, what do you do from a Borat position? Like, is she going to have a career that loosely mirrors Sacha Baron Cohen in this kind of satirizing character or caricature role that continues onto things, or will she break into serious dramatic roles after this?
I don't know. I mean,
interesting to see where she goes from this.
Yeah, I feel like we can't comment right now. I don't know anything about the girl, to be honest, and I didn't before this, which I'm sure was a lot of the reason she was cast in it, and that you can't have someone that's going to be recognised from something else. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see, I guess, but she'll be fine for a while. I hope she's got some royalty percentages and that'll keep her going for a while.
Yeah. What are you going to rate it?
I'm going to narrow it down and just say it wasn't as good as the first one, but it was still funny and I had a good time. So I'm going a solid 6. A good 6.
A good 6. Okay. Well, I mean, I just thought there was a lot more scope for what it could have been. And I'm going to go the other side of 5.
I was going to say that tone doesn't bear well.
I'm going to give it a 4, I think.
Fair.
I just wish it had found a way to react in a slightly more creative way.
Oh, I guess that's where we differ, because I wouldn't go into a Borat film expecting much more, to be honest. I watched it, had a good time. It will be quoted by people for a while, and that'll be it. I wouldn't be no deeper in the recesses of my mind than that, which is fine. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.